Today's episode of Voiced is from r/Petty Revenge and is about a determined sibling who turned the tables on a half-sister's wedding dress stunt at an engagement party, followed by a comical tale of a disastrous encounter with a Nintendo Switch. What hilarious twists could unfold? Subscribe if you enjoy.
My half-sister wanted to show up in a wedding dress to my engagement party, so I changed the party theme so she would fit right in. I don't care if you are from Fox or Bored Panda or BuzzFeed or whatever paper. No, I won't give you an exclusive interview. This is not even newsworthy. What kind of journalism is that supposed to be? After 39 messages in my inbox asking me to post here, I will. My half-sister Heather and I never really got along. We both are 24. My father left my mother for her mother, and we were born the same month, 20 days apart. It has always been weird. It doesn't help that Heather's mother hates me and my mother. By extension, Heather and I didn't have the best relationship. She has always tried to one-up me, even though we both have a similar economic background. I can give examples of this, but for the sake of the world, limit won't write them here. So now my fiancé and I got engaged last month and had our engagement party this Saturday. We had planned it originally as a casual formal event. Nice dresses, but not I'm going to the Met Gala ball. Nice, more like we are going to a good restaurant. Nice. Anyway, my cousin hits me up saying she has to show me something. It was the picture of the dress Heather was going to wear. This dress, Jesus Christ, it can only be described as opulent. It was long and white, strapless with sewn-in crystals and golden accents. I'm pretty sure it's a wedding dress, but I can't be 100%. This made me really mad. So I decided, forget that. I started texting people, telling them that there had been a change of plans, and that instead of casual formal, I decided to make a costume party. My mother's side is crazy for Halloween, so they were immediately on board. I told my father via text and asked for him to relay the message to Heather and her mother, knowing full well that he would forget or leave it to the last minute. Saturday comes along. Guests start showing up, most of them in costumes. Some didn't have time to get one. We just provided them with fun hats and inexpensive wigs. Heather, my dad, and her mother came about 1 hour late. As soon as she notices that everyone was either wearing elaborate costumes or weird accessories and she didn't stand out, she lost it. Especially when my fiancé came along and told her that her bridal dress looked amazing for a cheap costume. She left crying, and her mother and my father told me that I was being childish and I could have told Heather myself and not have tasked my father. For those interested, my fiancé was dressed as Bubbles and I was dressed as Mojo Jojo. My mom and aunts went as ABBA. Other memorable costumes were Luffy and Zorro, Ian Malcolm and John Hammond, and Jesus. It's one of those weird family situations where not inviting them would have been more dramatic. You know, when you try pleasing everyone. Plus, I still wanted a relationship with my father, so not inviting Heather and her mother would have made things super difficult and made it so my father would have had to choose. When I kept thinking of it, I noticed that my father wouldn't have chosen me in this scenario, which is why I ended up cutting them off. You let her win. No, the point of this is to ruin my half-sister's intention. She wasn't just dressed nicely, as some of you put it. She wore a wedding dress to my engagement party. I'd much rather subvert this whole mess rather than have her smugly sitting at the table with her wedding dress. Also, some of you are really hung up on the cheap wigs part and ignore literally everything else regarding the party. A minority of our guests wore those cheap wigs. Also, it literally doesn't matter. We had a blast. After she left, I didn't even think of her again until a few days later. I don't regret the costume party. I wish I thought of it earlier, to be honest. This is not a karma-seeking repost. No, it isn't. I just had to wait 2 weeks to post on here.
What a roller coaster of family dynamics and wedding dress drama. It's clear that managing family relationships can be as complicated as choosing what to wear to a significant event. And just when you think things can't get more chaotic, we pivot to a different kind of holiday mayhem. Prepare yourself for a tale that melds chaotic Christmas preparations with the kind of sibling love that keeps you up at night. Picture this. The clock strikes midnight on Christmas Eve, and all the presents are accounted for except for one very important gift. What happens next might just have you laughing, crying, and questioning your own holiday traditions. Stick around to hear how one family navigates the stress of the season while keeping the magic of Santa alive.
Tifu, I am never touching a Nintendo Switch ever again. So my family usually opens presents Christmas morning around 8 a.m., but due to my mother working this year, we had to start at 6:30. I know, it is as horrible as it sounds. Now, my brother and I are of age and old enough to understand the Santa process. However, we have a younger sister who still fully believes. She did the list, put out the cookies, and so on. The main thing she wanted this Christmas, and last year, was a Nintendo Switch. I don't know much about it other than it's expensive and could make a child's Christmas wish come true. So it comes midnight and my mother and I are wrapping up the presents for everyone and checking off the list to make sure nothing was forgotten. Everyone else is asleep. But then we come across the Nintendo. My mom asks me where it is. I have no clue. I go up and ask my dad. He has no clue. Everyone in my family, no clue. We all begin scrounging the house, top to bottom, every corner, every drawer, every hiding spot, even the vents. Time passes. We're still looking. It's 2 a.m. We should have been asleep an hour ago. My mother has to wake up in 4 hours to get ready for a full day of work and be with us for presents. She's crying. My dad's upset. I'm nervous. I send my parents up to bed and tell them to leave it up to me. Still don't know why I said this. So I stay up, still looking. It's now 4 a.m. I'm ready to pass out. I decide to write the letter from Santa myself, stating the following. Dear, I hit a major storm in the middle of the night and lost Dasher and 60% of my presents. Expect a delivery from the elves within the next few days. So I'm looking up what stores I can buy this Nintendo Switch again. Of course, they're all closed at 4 a.m., but they're closed all day for Christmas too. Now I'm really freaking out. I decide to let the note do its magic and pray I can find a Nintendo Switch to buy again. Christmas morning comes along. She reads the note. She's freaking out that Santa even made it in such a bad storm. But she's also freaking out that Dasher is on the loose. I try to calm her down, and she keeps screaming that Santa can't fly without all his reindeer and is probably missing. If you've ever seen Christmas Chronicles, she hit it spot on. Finally, we open the rest of the presents. We left the Nintendo Switch game wrapped, and she opened it, gave it away instantly. Now I'm frustrated that we were so unprepared. This is supposed to be huge. We finish up presents. My mom goes to work. My sister's playing with her stuff, and I'm checking out my new jewelry. I then remember that my polish for jewelry was in the trunk of the car. I don't know why. Don't ask. I open up the trunk, and there it is, the Nintendo Switch, sitting right there, staring at me. I start crying tears of joy. I don't have to spend another $300 on a console and games. I wrap it instantly and leave it on the front bench. I go upstairs, play a hoofing sound of a horse from my speaker, and make a loud bang. What was that? My sister. I don't know. It sounded like it came from outside. Want me to check? Me. Sister, it's Dasher. It has to be. He has it. She runs as fast as I've ever seen her run down the stairs and whips the door open. Before even seeing the present on the bench, she goes to look at the roof to see if Dasher is there, laughing out loud. Finally, she falls upon the gift wrapped up on the bench. She grabs it, runs inside, opens it, and cries. Santa really does listen. My sister. And then I cried. Again, because I was so relieved it was over. All in all, she was happy. I was happy. My parents were upset, they left it somewhere so stupid, and Christmas was even more fun for my sister. I am never touching a Nintendo Switch ever again. I did not plan nor enjoy going through this strat first, but at the end, it was all worth it. I'm the oldest sister of this family and believe it's important to keep her belief going. It brings our family joy to see her so excited for Santa. I read them with my boyfriend all the time, specifically this community, and decided this story was worth a share. We lost my sister's most wanted Christmas present and spent hours searching for it, only to find it in the car trunk.
Before I dive into today's posts, please consider subscribing for more great content like this. Wow, the tension in that engagement party story was so high, you could practically feel the awkwardness. I can't believe the lengths she went to just to turn the tables on her half-sister's tacky wedding dress. Stunt, it's almost poetic. And as for that Nintendo Switch fiasco, talk about a last-minute save. It just goes to show that the holiday spirit can come with its own set of hilarious disasters. What do you think about how the engagement party was handled? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Voiced. If you enjoy daily high-quality stories, please like and subscribe to show your support.